Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Empyrion Galactic Survival. My name is Spange, and I have a bit of a showcase for you today. I, in my spare time, have been working on something. And yes, I know, I'm showcasing my own stuff, shameless. But I'm quite happy with how this has turned out. Not the small vessel, the space station that I'm about to land at. I picked the wrong small vessel for this. This thing drifts worse than Tokyo. Let's just plop on here. So, I've been working on a pirate base, a syndicate base, I should say. Something that I will look to build on the wall server when the new season starts for Alpha 6.0. And I've tried to create this with a sort of story in mind, so it has a kind of story. I've called it Orion Station, and essentially what it is it's a civilian space station that was taken over by the syndicate, and that's why it looks like things have just been sort of stuck on the outside of it. So like the gun turrets here on the outside, the civilian station wouldn't have had those, so the syndicate have added them in. The same as the flak turrets on these docking pads here. And you might notice also these sort of black, let me turn my light on so we can actually see, armoured plating sticking off of everything. And the syndicate would have added those as well. And essentially what I've tried to design here is something that looks like blast shields or blast shutters. Obviously in the game you can't, that doesn't exist, there are no such thing as blast shutters at the moment. So they're purely aesthetic. At the moment they don't move, but I've made them so that they look like they kind of do fold up or fold across, down, to shield the windows, the weak points on the station. At the moment it's only got 3 landing pads. I think I might increase that to more small vessel landing pads, probably above it, so that you've got sort of like a tiered landing pad system. I don't know. I mean, at the moment I'm quite happy with how the station is at the moment, and I think if we want to expand it, then we can do that organically rather than forcing it through. In the center spire here you've got some more of these blast shields over the main armor. They're not covering windows per se, but they are essentially there to add armor to the existing armor of the station. The big support beams that you see going around the outside are there to support those armor blocks, and obviously weren't part of the original civilian station. So that's the premise I'm going with anyway. On the outside you've probably noticed these large CV landing gantries, or docking bays as I've called them. These would have been where, they're essentially dry docks, space dry docks. This would have been where the civilians would have built their mining ships and docked mining ships, supply ships and things like that. This would work for building vessels and storing vessels. As you can see here, I've got the Pioneer and the Valiant parked up on these, so you can get a sense of scale. So at the back of the base, I call the back, but this is space and it's all relative. We've got this area here that looks somewhat industrial. So I've sort of crafted this to make it look like some kind of factory or processing facility, and that's exactly what it would have been in my mind. The civilians would have used this space to process ore from mining ships. So this would have been a civilian mining station, essentially. So let's have a look inside. Let's start from this end. So if you were landing on the station, let's turn God mode off. You would come in through this door here, and obviously being a syndicate station, one of the things that the syndicate is very good at is having fun and making money. So we've got a bar, we've got a casino, we've got a gun shop, and we've got a supply shop as well. Obviously in the game's current form, that sort of stuff doesn't exist in reality, but we can just pretend for now, at least until we can create vendors within survival mode. So as we go into the station here, we've got our red carpet leading the way into the station. The one thing I haven't done throughout, and you'll probably notice, and it might annoy some of you, might not, is the texturing. Everything's built out of combat steel, and I haven't gone through and textured everything. You can see the floor's been textured here, the ceiling hasn't, the walls haven't. I'm quite happy to leave it as is. I'm not really that bothered. And we come into the main promenade through the main door here. So I still have some decorating to do here to liven this wall up, but let's take you around the outside. In the middle here we've got bar core, so that's the name of the bar in the middle. Think of it as Quarks from DS9. We've got a medical wing here where you can get healed up. Everything's oxygenated, so you've got full life support. Chief supplies. So if you need things like weapons, well not weapons, like tools, ship parts, spare parts, that sort of thing, that's where you would go get that. The gun shop, and finally the casino. And the bar is a bit retro, and for a sort of 70s disco vibe. Got a dance floor and everything. Some funny chandelier lights on the ceiling. The bar goes all the way around, and the core of the station is in the bar, hence the name of the bar, bar core. If we just quickly take a tour down the service elevator here, we would be into the very guts of the station. So we've got fuel tanks, gravity generators, fuel tanks for days, more and more and more, and the generators, 4 T2 T1 generators, 4 T1 generators, which provide ample power for this facility. Hello, cat. So through here as well, because obviously if this was a commercial area, the bar would be where you would get food. The VIP lounge upstairs, which we'll go to in a minute, also serves food to its patrons. So it has direct access to the greenhouse, which is down this long corridor, and this actually takes us underneath the landing pads for the SVs where we landed basically. So this would be, yeah, it's got oxygen, it's got grow lights, so plants should grow here, but well, I've never built a farm in space before, so we'll have to wait and see. Let's zip back to the bar. Okay, so upstairs we got the VIP lounge. So it's up this stairway. Okay, and here's our VIP lounge. We've got a little kitchen in here, like I said, so that they can dish out food to their VIPs. We've got our lounge with our big screen TV, and we have a little sort of private sitting area in here where we can look out over one of the gantries and have meetings and whatnot. We have a staff only elevator, so obviously normal customers aren't allowed in here. Station staff are allowed. We've got first floor is just crew quarters or guest quarters, whatever you want. Second floor is the same. And then we've got our command and control center. Sorry, excuse me. I've got a cold and it won't go away. So we've got our command and control center. So this will be where all the station's operations would be. This is obviously purely decorative. There's nothing functional in here. However, the next floor up is also a bit of command and control, and it does have some functional elements. So I've programmed in here a number of switches that allow you to enable elements of the station's defense systems. So DEFCON 5 is just, it's peacetime. The only systems that are active are the short-range minigun turrets. 4 activates the flak, 3 closes all the blast shutters, and I'll show you that in a second. 2 activates the rocket turrets, and 1 activates the artillery turrets. With all DEFCON switches activated, the station is in full defense status. Over here we've got a few other controls as well. We've got a power save mode, much like what I've done on the Pioneer. That will not turn off the O2 or gravity though, just the constructors and furnaces and other things that take up a lot of power. We've got a separate switch for the gravity control and a separate one for the O2 vents. It just simply turn them on and off. So yes, the blast shutters. Now, I mentioned earlier that I couldn't, obviously blast shutters in the way that I've built them is impossible in the game. They haven't included that sort of functionality where you've got moving blocks. But what I have done is I've just put shutter doors over all the windows to essentially simulate the closing of the blast shutters if the station is under attack. Now obviously in practical terms those shutters don't really offer much in the way of protection, but hey, they look pretty cool when they're opening and closing. I was particularly proud of that. So that's DEFCON 3, close the blast shutters, flip the switch down again, and they all open again. Nice. Go up another level, and we've just got the observation deck. So this is the top deck of the station, and we can look over the entire station from here. I just need to get a multi-tool to this glass to turn it around so that you can actually see out of it. So that is the center of the station. Let's God mode our way back down again. Where am I? Lost. Okay, so let's have a little tour of the factory. So also from this central area we can access the factory, and that's just down this corridor. And here we go, is the factory, which, as the name suggests, is where all the constructors are. But I've also isolated an area for a couple of furnaces down there. And I've made this again looking like it's sort of a living compartment. We've got a chute where we would pass ore down and it would go straight into the furnace down there. The struts and stuff that I've got on the ceiling here are actually my attempt to create some kind of thing that looks like a conveyor belt. If we go outside, you might have noticed from earlier we have these cargo boxes set up on these walkways. And what I've tried to do is make it look like these cargo boxes were on a conveyor belt type thing, and they would pass through these shutter doors either side into the factory, where they would then run into be sorted internally. So we've got some gantry things up there that would take stuff in there, or one that runs down the entire side out the other side if necessary. So yeah, I've just made it, tried to make it look like it was a living, working processing plant factory. If we head down the stairs here, we've obviously got access to our furnaces. Big warnings there, because obviously if you step over this line your temperature will shoot up and you will soon die, but you can access both furnaces from the safe side of the shield. I've set up a decontamination chamber for when you are handling radioactive ore. You can come in here and you can get showered. You've got some storage lockers here, and then yeah, a decontamination exit to shield you from the gravity generator, which does generate radiation. You've got some entryway gangways here that guide you out the door. Little control room for the gravity control. The factory control room, so this is where all the factory operations are run from, again purely decorative, and that is pretty much downstairs of the factory. We've also got a little upstairs as well. We go up here, there's a little control room here for coordinating ships docking and passing cargo through to the factory. Again, purely decorative. So there is a sort of practical element to my design as well. This is why I put all the constructors and cargo containers next to each other, so that in reality you can use this thing, and the decoration stuff on the side is literally just out of the way, and you don't need to even go in and have a look. It's just there. And yeah, the only other thing to show you is the super secret areas of the station, which are actually out on the docking bays. So let's go out of this one. So the entire station isn't oxygenated through and through. These corridors are not oxygenated. There would have been some nice signage there to warn you. No O2 beyond this point. But if we go downstairs here, again, this is woefully undecorated, apart from lighting. This is actually directly under the gantry. I don't know why that oxygen container is there. That seems a bit odd. It shouldn't be there. Right, it must be a symmetry glitch. Yes, so we've got all of our explodables, apart from the fuel, out on the docking gantries themselves. Another GC, some more storage, but essentially anything that can go boom and cause massive damage through secondary explosions is away from the key components of the station. The station will continue functioning even if both these gantries are completely destroyed. This one and the one on the other side. If I just quickly God mode over to the other side. Ooh, went a bit far. We've got pretty much an identical setup over here as well. Random red block. Oh, that's the repair bay. Of course it is. Yeah. Repair bay. So there we go. That is pretty much it, ladies and gentlemen. The Orion station. Coming to a workshop near you very soon. And what I'd be very interested to see is if you guys take this build and you're able to add to it, modify it in any way. Especially anybody that's able to do anything more with the switches, logic circuits and stuff like that. Any cool stuff that you can add to this, I'd be really interested to see. So yeah, subscribe to it on the workshop. There's a link in the video description. There might be a few more updates to it coming, but otherwise it's pretty much good to go. And let me know what you think, and let me know if you make any changes to it and what those changes are. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. I think that's pretty cool, and I can't wait to put it into practice on the Wolves server for the Alpha 6 season as an actual syndicate pirate base. Well, that's all for today, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you've enjoyed this little showcase. I know it's shameless self-promotion, but my channel, my rules. Remember to smash that like button and hit subscribe if you're new here for more content. And hopefully I'll see you guys in the next episode. Until then, take care. Cheers. Bye-bye.